wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
How long? Dr. Kelp, how long have you been at this institution? Well, you see, I did it was undergrad. And then but then, about how long? Welcome to the Helping Women Out Hour, which is usually about a 30-minute rant and screed where I, America's older brother, help you younger gals out. Why not the older gals? Because the older gals have already made their decisions and it's too late for them. And we're not even aiming for most of the gals, the younger gals, older or now. We're aiming for you younger gals who, frankly, don't want to have the miserable life that the previous 2 to 3 generations of women had before you. And so we go through some harsh and hurtful words, otherwise known as the truth, helping you girls up, because I do think there is I'm mocked and ridiculed by the men in my eyes. Oh, Cappy, pissing into the hurricane again, I see. They're not going to listen. We've had some success. So, and this is an important one because it's so simple. You girls are so propagandized. And I don't know if it's society propagandizing you or if you're genetically like this. I'll tell you this, it doesn't matter. If you're genetically like this, you need to snap out of it. You need to override your genetics and say, oh shit, this is the real world. And it's a very simple question. It is, what do you want? And it could be the funny ha-ha thing where, what do you want to eat? Which is just the stupid, tedious argument. But it answers everything there. There's that meme where it says a woman on death row, right? And then the prison guard comes in and says, what do you want for your last meal? And she says, I don't know. What do you want? And I shouldn't laugh because it's been tremendously costly to society and especially women. Where I think the only thing you women want more than what you want is to want what other people want you to want. That makes sense? Right? I don't know if you're conditioned by society or the female hive mindset or your frenemies or to be popular. It's popular. Or it's your genetics where, oh my God. I'll tell you, I was with a group of people. Of course it was women. And we had to figure out, where is everyone going to sit for this dinner? Now, keep in mind, the dinner is on the fucking table. People have been waiting for this dinner a long time. People came out to this house to have the dinner. I swear to God, I saw the matriarch and a bunch of women. They talked for 5 minutes about where people should sit. I'll provide you an aside here. This is one of the many reasons men make more money than you. That isn't the patriarchy or sexism. Make a fucking decision. You're holding everybody else up. And all it was a bunch of women not wanting to offend other people. No, the patriarch had passed away. There was no dad, and it went to shit. Because the old man would have come in, we're sitting here, you're sitting there, you're sitting there, let's eat. And then we would have gone on and produced GDP and invented a cure for cancer or something like that. It was, oh yeah, but I don't, yeah. You know why everyone was delayed with the meal? The meal was cold. Because women couldn't just man up and take the last piece of pizza. You could just say, I'm sitting here, you're sitting there. It all had to be consensus. Now, I don't care whether this is the way you were conditioned in school with your frenemies in middle school. Like, is Becky wearing blue shoes? Because I want to wear blue shoes. Did you wear red socks? I want to wear red socks. I don't even care if it's your genetics. Where you're like, no, genetically, I'm really uncomfortable making it. No. You don't understand. There's a more important thing at risk here, especially for you girls. And that is your fucking happiness in life. What do you want? And it's kind of like hiking. I guess it isn't exactly like hiking because usually I know exactly where I'm going because of maps and GPS and all this other shit. But if you are off, like your first step on a hike, right? You're about to go on this long journey, right? On a hike. And your destination is like at the 270-degree mark, right? Which would be, if I do it right, that would be what? It's northwest, right? You got to go true northwest to get to your destination. Fine, you're off by 4 or 5 degrees. You'll still get there. But if you're off by 90 degrees, or it's often the case, women, you're off by 180 degrees, you're going the completely opposite direction because you subserviate what you really want in life to what other people want you to have in life, or worse, what you think other people want you to have in life. Because you're worried about fucking consensus or hurting people, or whatever irrational bird brain fear you got in your head. You are sacrificing your individual lives, your happiness, your purpose point. You're sacrificing everything to make somebody else happy. And 9 times out of 10, these are your frenemies. They're not your friends. They're not people with your best interests at heart. These are people that manipulate you and take advantage of you. For example, feminists. I'll lay it on the line. You know what I think most of you girls want deep down inside? You want a real masculine man to be stay-at-home wives. I could be wrong. Now, a lot of you could say, no, I don't want that. I mean, yes, I could see the appeal of it, but at some fundamental level, most women either want that outright or wouldn't mind it. Like, yeah, I could see it, but I don't know. But what do you pursue instead? What you think every other miserable older woman than you who has failed in life tells you to have? I should be a girl boss. I should go to dad. I don't need no man. And then you're all on antidepressants and miserable because you got your master's degrees in cats. That's just an example. But if you do not, right, life is just a big hike. And if you don't get your bearings right and you're going truly around 270 degrees, and instead you're going 180, 120 the other direction, guys, you're not going to have a good life. You're essentially a slave to everyone. You're a slave to consensus. You're a slave to popularity. You're a slave to the committee. You're not getting what you want. And it really does cost you everything. Because if you go 180 degrees, you got to come back. Like, okay, let's do college degrees. I mean, these are important decisions with tremendous cost. College degree, 4 years of your life, probably 6, because girl boss. Student loan debts. And you think, what should I major in? What, Becky? And I should go and follow my heart and the money will follow. That's an easy sell to you. Like, yeah, avoid math, don't do anything hard, and then you'll make 6 figures, you'll be happy. Right? But you major in the wrong thing, right? Because ultimately, what do you want at the end of the day? Do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be financially stable? Or do you want a job? Or you don't? If you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life, except for the truck stop to suck a dick to make your student loan payments on your political science degree. Yeah, except for that part. I'm getting a little sidetracked. It is like trying to diagnose a deadly virus, cancer, whatever. Just as somebody who has a life-threatening illness, critically, their lives depend on the doctor critically diagnosing what's wrong with them so that this death-threatening, life-threatening illness doesn't kill you and they get cured and they continue living your life. You girls have got to ignore what everybody's telling you what to want, Ignore that. Well, I want to make people happy. Fuck other people. You need to diagnose clearly what you want in life so that your first step of these limited resources called days that you have on this planet are moving you towards that goal. Now, what that goal is, it's up to you. It could be married with kids. It could be in shape. It could be the career, right? You say, nah, I just really am not into guys that much. I want the career. Okay. But for the love of God, stop worrying about what other people think about you. Have the balls, right? I know maybe it's very intimidating. You got these feminists and your frenemies and your girl bosses and the mean girls and I mean, dudes just honestly don't care. Like, it's just, okay, do what you want. We prefer you be thin and have sex, but that's our ulterior motivation. What do you want? Maybe you don't have the answer right away either. But for the love of God, once you figure out what you want, do not subserviate that to appease other people. I mean, look, I don't know if you know this, but people, not just girls, but people from the age of, birth to, I'd say 25, right? Especially you girls, y'all don't know jack shit about the real world or what you want. You really don't. And I would not be taking advice from 16-year-old girls who've had nothing but bullshit shoved up their ass while mom and dad or the government pay for everything. These are the last people you want to be taking advice from. And, the adults aren't that much better. And this is why I got the course called The Dad You Never Had, because the advice you're going to get from the parents and the adults and the teachers is equally shitty and politically motivated. So at least be true to yourself. Say, this is what I want. I think this is what I want. I want, dude, you know what's great? You know, it's Christmas time. You know what y'all should do? Go watch, I think is it Frosty the Snowman? Hang on. There was the elf who wanted to become a dentist. It's one of them old claymation deals. Elf who wanted to become a dentist. What's the name of it? Hermie, classic 1964. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay, watch the 1964 stop motion cartoon, sort of, called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and there was Hermie, and Hermie was a elf who worked for Santa, and he wanted to become a dentist. And of course, the shtick was all the other elves, including his dad. You can't become a dentist. You must become an elf. You must work. I want to become a dentist. And he goes on this adventure with Yukon Cornelius in the game. I mean, it's a charming. This is back before cartoons had fat black lesbians being superheroes in wheelchairs. If you could imagine such a thing. I know it's before your time. He just wants to become a dentist. And part of it was the resilience society gave him. You can't become a dentist? Or gee, I wonder if there's some women saying, you shouldn't be a state. You don't need no man. Don't be a pick-me. How dare you? What do you want? And if you could consider other people like in your life that actually care about you, well, it's probably going to be your boyfriend or husband, whatever. A lot of times people, not your frenemies, some people just want you to be happy, which down the road, don't ever say, I don't know. What do you want? Stop that. What do you want? And I've said this before. It's just some future advice. When you get, there's your hubby, da-da-da. What do you want for dinner? You know what the default answer is? Asian food or Thai food, if you want to get more specific. You know why you say Thai food? Just for the shits and giggles, even though you don't want Thai food at that moment in time, because that is going to make your life and your relationship all that much better, because you're lessening the amount of labor. Both of you have to go and sit and figure out what to eat. It's a small, tedious, annoying thing like a mosquito, but get rid of that. I want Thai food. I want Thai food. Man, my girlfriend really likes Thai food. I want Thai food. That's your default. Or Mexican, change it up a little bit. Even if you don't. You know why? Because you've made it easier for other people. And what do you want? I'll give you another example. There we are sitting. Let's say a woman grew a pair in that moment, says, I'm sitting here. That would have forced all the other women and like, we're sitting now. Did she really want to sit in that exact spot? No, but you know what? It didn't matter. It allowed everybody else to move along. And it's going to help you in your life as well as everyone else in your life, the ones you care about, that you're honest with what you want. So I don't care what by the way, I'm just not going to be nice or fair. I'm just going to call it as it is. The vast majority of the people telling you what you want are miserable older women who do not want to see you happy or succeed. Because if you go and pursue what you want, you're going to prove to them that they lied to themselves pursuing what other women told them to want. And therefore, they're going to be crabs in the bucket and being reminded that they wasted their life. That's why it's a separate topic of conversation. But generally, you should not be listening to older, miserable women. You just shouldn't be listening to them for life advice. All I'm telling you is do what you want. Be honest about it. Yeah, I don't care what. I want to go and be a zookeeper. Go knock yourself out, sweetheart. God bless you. I want to go and be a professional bowler. Go, do it. But I would immediately stop listening to other people. And whatever that fear is about, but what if women I'll never see again once you graduate from high school or college? What will my sorority sisters think? Fuck your sorority sisters. What do you want to do? What do you want? And if you do that, you'll be much more happy. Certainly more happy than the generation of women that came before you who are all on antidepressants, forcing you. It's so sad. A lot of these women point and purpose in life is to ruin younger women's choices in life and make sure these women go down the path they did. So they're not, I do believe that. I really believe that a lot, not all, a lot of older women's fear and motivation to make sure younger women do what they did is so there is not daily proof and reminder that the older women pissed away their lives not pursuing what they wanted. I think that's true. Because I don't know, like, it's not fun. Like, if I said, let's go got the weekend, right? You and the gang all together. Let's go. We got the weekend. What should we do? Let's do something fun. Or we'll go camping, or we'll go fishing, or we'll go bowling, right? Or we'll go to the nightclub. We'll go get some drinks and whatever it is, right? No one voluntarily said, let's be a 42-year-old spinster, miserable bitch on the internet and tell young people not to fall in love and be happy. Like, that's not an activity or an event I want to do. Like, I never once said, hey, let's go tell men that life sucks and to be emotionally and women are the enemy and all that. Now we critique and say, you got to be careful with women. We're like, you should hate women. It's like, offer to hang out and go bowling. If they reject you, go bowling yourself. That's the position we're at now. Right? You might want to be very critical of the advice you're getting from the older women in your life, especially if it's coming from, like, you ever have parents or family or relatives that are absolute financial wrecks? Like, they are poor, they're in debt, they're miserable, and they try to give you like career advice or money advice. Like, shut the fuck. Like, I don't take financial advice from poor people unless they're saying, don't do what I did. If you want to be happy, I wouldn't take advice from feminists and Karens, right? Okay, so we got that. Now, on the other side, okay, you ready? You ready? A lot of people have made a lot of money off of women in the past, young women in the past, giving you the lie that, you can, do whatever you want as long as we approve of it behind closed doors. But the lie is also that you can have it all, right? That your decisions will not negate or preclude future decisions or opportunities you might have. The other, do what you want as long as we approve behind closed doors. But you can do anything you want, and there are no consequences for the choices you make today, which is just not true, right? I got 2 peaks, right? I could see them within about a 90-degree view. There's the peak over there, and there's the peak over there. There's only so much sunlight to make it to one peak and back. I look at the two peaks. I say, well, I like that one more because whatever, it's taller, there's snow, something like that. I'm going to go with the left peak. I have to accept that I'm not going to be able to do the right peak. But according to your overlords who are telling you you could do both peaks. No, you can't. It's not physically possible. Okay. And so what you have to also understand is that if you're going to do what you want, that's going to prevent you from doing other things. It's called opportunity cost. And you should get very familiar with the quote because it's not an opinion, it's real. There are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. It's from not Walter E. Williams, Thomas Sowell, an economist. I have $100. I can either buy a really great meal with it, or I can buy a really nice dress with it. I cannot buy both. And so if I buy one, by the laws of physics, I cannot buy the other. But people like to tell you you can have your cake and eat it too. And so this then also goes to things that might be important. Let's go to the previous video I did about being thin. And I talked about this decision you have to make here. There is nothing wrong with being fat or overweight. Okay? It's nice, right? You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do manual labor for your to be thin, to be in shape is a lifelong chore. It is a part-time, lifelong job of physical labor. It's not moving a mouse in it. This is blue-collar, hard work, physical labor. You got to go to the gym. You have to diet. I mean, you don't have to starve yourselves, but you don't get to eat what you want, right? So it is a luxury. It is a very good, enjoyable, luxurious benefit to go ahead and be overweight. However, listen to me. I don't care what Lizzo and Amy Schumer and who's the ugly black woman? Whoopi Goldberg, right? They're all like, you don't need no, and this and that, and men suck, and big is beautiful, right? And then Ozempic came out, and they're all on Ozempic. Interesting. All right. You, in pursuing, it's not to be fat, is to enjoy a life of leisure. That's the positive, because that's what it is. You get to eat what you want. You don't have to deprive yourself one of your five senses, right? Taste. You get a full belly. You get to enjoy good meals. You get to be a culinary expert. Like, you get to sample great. I mean, it is. It's like reading books or listening to opera. Well, opera's boring, but you get to sample all this good stuff. Food's great. You don't have to work out. It's wonderful. That's fine. That's fine. But then you must accept, in pursuing a life of leisure, sloth, gluttony, laziness, relaxation, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to get a guy, or at least a guy that you want. All right? There's no wrong answer. You can be honest. What do you want? But if you choose one, that choice, by the laws of physics, prevents you from being able to choose the other. You cannot have both. And this choice, there are some very important, the road splits, the trail forks. You could go this way, you could go that way. You can't go both ways. And so, giving you an example on this one, you have a choice. You can have a life of leisure, great food, enjoyment, relaxation. Okay, maybe a little bit shorter life because obesity kills, but you can have that path, or you can have a man. You cannot have both. The man you want, and I'm sure you could have a man. He's just going to be not the one you really want. He'll be a Democrat. Soft, pudgy, whiny. You probably have to pay for him. He also has a worthless degree. But at least you agree politically, right? That's more important. If you want the guy, you got to give up the food and the laziness and the sloth and the relaxation. You're going to have to hit the gym. You're going to have to watch what you eat for the rest of your life. There is no wrong answer, though. None. The wrong answer is you being dishonest with yourself and choosing the path you think other people want you to choose. Right? That's the wrong answer. Again, at that very first fork in the road, in the trail, you need to be honest with yourself. What do I want more? Do I want the guy more, or do I want the life of ease and food and tasty treats more? Be honest with yourself and don't give a fuck what other people think. And then secondarily, this is very important. Stop lamenting you didn't take the other path. Like when I'm going, yeah, I go hiking. Sure, there's offshoots and different trails and hook up to different networks. I'm curious, like, boy, I mean, the Pacific Crest Trail, like I was doing a little bit of hiking in the Sierras. Like, oh man, I know where that goes. It goes up to Canada. Oh, I wish I had time. I'm going to go this way because this is the way I want to go. I then don't like, oh my God, I just didn't make it to Canada. I didn't go north on the Pacific Crest Trail. No, I went and I hiked and climbed this other mountain, or I went to this other peak, or I went to this other valley. That's what I wanted to do. And I enjoyed it. Do not lament or rue the next best choice. Do not lament the choice that you couldn't take because you couldn't take it. You can't take both. I wanted chocolate ice cream. The strawberry ice cream. Why did I choose the strawberry ice cream? You're ruining your enjoyment of the chocolate ice cream. And so, step one, stop worrying about what other people want. Step two, assess what you really want in life. Step three, choose it. And step four, don't worry about what you couldn't have anyway. Your life will be a lot better. So, as I said, your entire life depends on this, right? Do you want men or do you want luxurious food and a relaxing life? It's an important question. Do you want kids or do you not want kids, right? That's another question. The only wrong answer is when you do what other people want you to do. I'll give you another very important one for you young girls. Do you want financial stability or do you want to do what your heart says and think the money will follow? I don't know why people are calling me now. Don't know why. This is probably somebody who couldn't make a decision. Right? This lie, the lie again, mostly miserable women older than you who are spinsters. Follow your heart, money will follow. No, it does not. It absolutely, unless you're passionate about engineering and math, you get a choice. Okay? What going to college or trade school, whatever it is. After you graduate from high school, you get a choice. You could go into fields that pay money, which are hard, and get financial stability, or you could go into fields that you enjoy, which are typically easy. Everybody else chooses them too. The market is flooded and wages are low, and you're going to be poor. And depending on how much debt you take on to get that certification, you might be financially crippled for the rest of your life. There is no wrong answer. I mean, I'd recommend you go into engineering or accounting or the hard stuff because, dude, being poor sucks. Not having financial stability sucks. But it could be equally painful working in a field you absolutely hate and detest. But there's your choice. There's no wrong answer, girls, except doing what you think other women want you to do. What do you want more? Do you want financial stability? Or do you want a job that is enjoyable and rewarding, which, by the way, also doesn't exist, but that's a different discussion. Right? Don't go and major in whatever, social work, the liberal arts, sociology, history, English, whatever dumbass shit 85% of you major in, and then also bitch about there not being enough money, and then also bitch about the wage gap, right? Don't do that. Say, wow, I get to be a teacher. I get summers off and it ain't that hard of a job. All I got to do is whatever. Tell Jimmy he didn't diagram his sentence correctly. Whatever it is teachers do. And then I get summers off. Yeah, we're kind of underpaid. Well, you're not underpaid. Yeah, the pay is lower. Yeah, I got to drive a used Toyota. But you know what? I really enjoy having my summers off and helping out little kids. right? Or, yeah, this sucks studying linear algebra and calculus and thermodynamics and whatever. Yeah, it's boring. I don't get to go to the parties. But then I became an electrical engineer, chemical engineer, some kind of engineer. And now I make 65 grand a year fresh out of college. I have financial stability, and the work isn't exactly a thing. But you know what? I don't have to worry about sucking dick at a truck stop to get by or joining OnlyFans and showing my butthole on the internet so I can make my student loan payments, which I don't care either way. What do you want? So there you go. That is the importance of you being honest with yourself so you don't piss away your life like nearly every other woman the past 2 generations before you. Link below, I have a book called The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI in the Pursuit of Women. If you care about men, if you wanted men in your life, please go read that book. And even though it's written for men, the statistics would equally apply to both sexes. And you'd be like, oh, is that what men want? Oh, okay. Do I pierce my nose? Here's just choices, ladies. Do I pierce my nose to be edgy and independent and gain value, even though there really is none, because I'm expressing myself? And then therefore give up any man who's worth a shit that would go out with you or marry you or date you? Or do you say, you know what? I'm not going to pierce my nose because it's more important I get a guy who isn't just a financial drag loser criminal. I'd like to have a guy who's got a job, so I'm not going to pierce my... No wrong answer. No wrong answer. Just giving you another one there. All right, let's go to the super chats. Dry Raven, $2 women. I don't know. You pick. Ken Rose, he says hi for $2. Hello, Ken. Devious DJ Aftershock, $2. Cappy, do guys with leather jackets and BMWs have money? Are leather jackets a thing? Generally, no. If you have a BMW now, keep in mind this is from my generation. I even say today, like if you got any luxury car, no, you don't have money. I think that still holds today. What was it? Something like 90% of the luxury vehicles out there are all leased or have a loan on them. Probably more now. But no. People with luxury cars, especially the men, they don't own them. The vast majority of people with luxury cars do not own them. They lease and borrow them. Whatever you see as signs of wealth, could be a BMW or a McMansion or whatever else. I'm telling you as a former banker and seeing everyone's financial statements and balance sheet, no, they don't have money. But the vast majority of stuff you see as wealth is not wealth. It is the bank's money. Let's put it this way. 90% of the wealth you see is fake. How's that? Comanche Club, $5. In my opinion, getting women to be less solipsistic is as futile as telling men they shouldn't like tig old biddies. Both are hardware. I understand. But it is possible. I've seen it happen where women are aware of other people. They do not suffer from main character syndrome. I guarantee if you go out to the Wild West where there was starvation and famine and drought and bands of Indians attack, women out west were very practical. They were very not solipsistic. They were very well aware. It's a question as to how technologically advanced, how much debt we're going to spend, and how much men will come to the rescue to shield women from reality, because these men care about women, or they want to protect the women, or want to sleep with the women, whatever their motivations might be. But when the debt goes away and the economy goes into crippling recession, or the men are just like, no, all you got this, girlfriend. Men will step away. They will no longer be in between women and reality. And they're like, we're done. Right? This is why Daniel Penny is, why won't men help us on the subway? No, we're done. You vote for this. We're done. So I think reality, women will come around. I know it's going to be long term, might be another generation or two, but I think the student loan worthless degree thing is slowly making progress. Women and men, especially men, but women are going to college less. They still proportionately major in dumb shit, but there's not that many people going into it. And I've also seen where young women, fair amount, not a majority, are like, I don't want this. I want to have kids. I want to be married. I want more of a traditional life. So it's slow. It's happening. But I think, young gals look at a Whoopi Goldberg or an Oprah or a Hillary Clinton or Ruth Bader Ginsburg or a Nancy Pelosi, or I guess something younger would be like, who did they promote as like, Brie Larson. And they're just like, no, I don't want that. I want Milking Cow Happy Farm. I want a monitor. And okay, that's what they want. They want that. Okay. All right. Again, my main point is that these are younger gals, at least we're aiming for. And I want them to be successful. I want them to be happy. And it starts with having them be honest with what they want. And in the future making decisions, and therefore not ruining their lives with regret. Like, oh, I wonder what it would have been like having the blue shirt instead of buying the red one. Stop worrying about the red one. You got the blue one. Right? A lot of, girl bosses, they're like, when they made that choice, although it was heavily influenced, girl bosses chose career, education, debt, commutes, taxes, MBAs, whatever. They chose that, or they chose a career over family. By the way, no, ladies, you can't have both. You can have all poorly and everything will suffer, or, what is it? A husband, children, career. Choose two. But never mind. The biggest problem girl bosses, you're 30 and 40-year-olds right now, stereotypically face, is, are they going to regret the fact they didn't have kids, that they didn't get married? Are they going to regret that? Well, they shouldn't. They should say, no, I chose this. This is what I wanted. And yes, of course, a piece of me would have liked to have kids or husband, of course, but I prefer this. Because let's say they had kids and they got married, then they'd be, well, would have liked to have been a girl boss. I'm trying to get women to ignore it. Like, no, you can't. I can't have the chocolate ice cream and then, oh, I wish I had the butterscotch. You can't have both. Muff Edit, $2. How well does the great one play volleyball? I don't know. I've never played volleyball with him. He likes watching girls play volleyball, but I've never played volleyball with him. Comanche Club, $5. Is there a guide that describes what female behavior is intrinsic, would be a waste of time to try and change, versus bad that should be corrected or avoided? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like where you're banging her head against the wall. If your life is threatened, everyone's behavior changes. If it's bad enough, you will change your behavior. The only difference between men and women is men will step in between hardship, life, death, threats, pain, cold, starvation, hunger, cold, misery, to protect women because we're genetically programmed that way and we want to get laid. But if men were to step away from that, yes, women will have to, because otherwise the choice is death. You got to till the fields, the whatever. The husband died. You got to till the fields. You got to protect the family, because otherwise the choice is death. I mean, in incredibly bad times. So I think all behavior can be changed with enough hardship. With the threat of death, everything would change. But now in today's culture, a first world nation with electricity, a shit ton of debt, foreigners making our goods dirt cheap, Captain Save-A-Ho and simps out there, and, oh my God, my lady, there's always the insurance policy that, a girl can go on the internet and show her hoo-ha and make some money, right? There's always a way for girls to pay for rent. I'm not to be so crass, but I'm just being, brass tacks here. There is that shield. And so the behaviors that you can change, I hate to say very, very little. There's very little. The girls have to be motivated to listen to you, right? Like a drug addict. It's not until they hit rock bottom, the bottom of the barrel, will they listen. about sobriety and sobering up and going to rehab. I think it's the same here. Unless you are a drop dead gorgeous man and they're like, oh my God, you're the one. I don't see women in general, right? I'm not targeting large audience. I'm definitely going to speak to the minority women here. There's always, right? Here I am spitting facts and truth. This is how it is. Your lifelong. I'm telling girls to eat their fruits and vegetables. But for every guy like me or every person saying eat your fruits and vegetables, there's a fat pig Oprah. There's a Lizzo, there's a marketing department, there's Disney, there's 1,000 people and entities and companies telling women, you don't have to listen to me, guys, whatever, patriarchy, misogynist, whatever. You do what you want. As long as you give me tuition money, vote for me, buy my $8,000 handbag. There is right now, as long as the electricity is on, there is always somebody selling women the funner, short-term gain, long-term sacrifice thing. It really is, and it goes for you guys too. I'm at a broccoli stand, and I'm trying to sell you broccoli. I'm like, no, it's anti-cancerous. It's really healthy for you. It's good for you. I think it even has calcium. You should eat your broccoli, and you should. You should eat your broccoli. But then next to me is this fat pig Oprah. Have some more chocolate ice cream or some feminist or whatever Disney's selling. Look out. And it's, you know what? It won't be until the chocolate ice. No, there ain't no chocolate ice cream. All we have is turnips. Yeah, here's your turnips. You know why you're going to eat the turnips? Because there's nothing else, because it's that bad. Yeah, in a very wealthy first world functional economy, there's always something better, right? I could tell you guys the same thing. You know what you guys should be targeting? You should be targeting like a 6 or a 7 who's like an accountant or a nurse or a dental hygienist or a dentist, like, and it's okay if she's a little overweight or maybe she has got the hottest face, but if she shows up on time, has good finances, that's the one. That's the one you want to commit to. But some girl with big tits, red hair, a drug problem, 3 other kids, and so, but she got a tight ass. You guys are going to go for that every time too. So no one wants to buy my broccoli, man. No one wants. It's hard selling broccoli. It's hard. You got to go out with a stripper named Cindy, spelled with an S. Well, you ain't going to go out with Gertrude, the CPA, who has a good 401k and cooks for you, but whatever, has a funny nose. Rob Fogolski, $5, correct. You can either be married or happy. Choose. Why? Yeah, that's why I'm not married. I'll say it again. They asked me at the cigar lounge, how long you been together? I'm like, 15, 16 years. When are you going to get married? I'm like, I want to have sex. I don't want to get married. Every guy laughed. Every girl got pissed because it's true. All right, there you guys go. Link below, The Dad You Never Had, available on Teachable, and the Book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women, which is for women too. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.